So today's auction is in a hockey rink. Say good morning.
Good morning, young man.
Old-timey toboggan. It's an Eskimo. Geez, you remember these silly things? That's a contraption. Creepy. Okay, I'm interested in that. So that looks like one of those things you hang from the ceiling in the kitchen, hang all your pots and pans off of. Got some nice copper hanging off that. It looks pretty cool. Ooh. Hello. Hi. I'm your new daddy. Look at you. I have the glass tray for that too. I actually have one. Boy, the leather is in really good shape on that. So I got to take a piece of steel and sit it on there. It's kind of a cute door. I like the windows. Ooh. Well, I'd like to get her. She's pretty cool. How bad does she stink? Whew. Man, that girl needs a bath. Holy crap. Oh, man, I feel like I ate it. Ugh. Ooh, look at that boat. Man, that is an old timer. Oh, that is really cool. That is a really cool old wood boat. Man, you just don't see wood boats anymore. I remember these as a boy. Your feet were always wet in one of these. Wow, golf crap is us. Too bad. I'm looking for old porcelain fixtures. When I see a bunch of old plumbing things. Well, I remember those things. That's pretty, it's pretty wasted. Harley Davidson, 100th year. Not worth a whole lot. It was a set. Ooh, look at that, an old blue bullet glass. Stevens Point, Wisconsin. In my youth, I've been known to have one or two blue bullets. Old Hames. That's a pretty cool old drawer right there. I kind of like that. I might buy that. Certainly tried to. Got so many old radios right now. I'd like to get some inventory I don't have. Well, as a guitar player, I almost feel like I have to have this. Well, look, it's got the original box.
Hey, Donnie, you got your bike on the other hand.
Yeah. Come here.
You got your bike up there. Blue one.
Wow, that is really wild. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to buy that. That's nuts. That's pretty cool. The USA. That's always a good start. Little wizard. Man, it's too bad that glass is broke. Because it's an oddball size. I guess this still has value. Do they even match? No, they don't even match. Popeye TV tray. You fold out on your lap. Ooh. That's pretty cool. No. It's nice and crusty like I like them. But Dear John. Oh, these are some good ones. Standard Oil. Not super old, but probably 70s, 80s. Alright, got some stuff. I'm pretty excited. Wow, Brass RS. I'm not gravitating toward the brass. It's plentiful, I can buy it anywhere at any time. Any of these any good? Mid-century pot metal. Oh. Those look like old Keeler. Yeah. I'd be interested in those. Oh man. They got the Swans. These are pretty good inventory. They're hard to ship though, because they always want to break. Wow. Good selection of them. Marbles. In case you've lost yours. Big old shooters. Those are cheapos. Wow, those are interesting. That's an unusual candle holder. The box of sadness there. No vintage gas and oil hats in here. Maybe there is. Oh, it's a Route 66. I thought it said, oh, 66. That's kind of an interesting old one. Remember these old coin banks? It's a cool Las Vegas ashtray. It's plaster. Midwest. Are they metal? Oh, you know what? They're metal, I think. I might be into those. That looks like cedar. Oh man, that's some cool stuff. I might buy that. Huh. So somebody made some Burlwood lamps. Too bad that one is broke off. It's actually kind of a cool shade. Wasn't so bent up. Maybe it could get cleaned up. Now the whole thing is kind of... Oh, there's the top of the broken piece, I think. Laying down in there. Maybe you could patch it up. Maybe that can be saved. Wow, there's some cool wood boxes here. Wow. That is a beast. That is a very serious bike built for two. Hand painted? Fuji. That one's got a broken beak. That one's got a chipped beak. And that one's got a broken beak. So this first box is good. This one's good. Well, if they did choice, I would do these three. This one's not bad, but you'd have to disclose that. What are those?
556.
Look a lot like an old 2520.
It's same equivalent to a 223. There's an AR up there, 5.56. That shoots at that. Plus, I'll shoot 223.
Over here we got a scalper. Got a scalper. Give me $5 on it. $5, give me $1 bill.
You got me right. It's getting cold in here. Lucky when you sell a lot of coats, you can just go grab one off the rack. This is LL Bean. I think I like it. All right, let's run through what I got. It was a really pretty okay sale for a lot of bread and butter stuff, which is good for me because I need stuff I can ship. And good vintage stuff. The owner came in like halfway through the sale and came down. He sat next to me in the back of the building. I had seen him before. He was a walker. He sat down. I asked him if he wanted to move over like where I was sitting so he had a better shot of seeing. And he goes, "No, all I want to do is hear it. I don't want to see it." He didn't introduce himself to me. And he's listened to the auction for a while, and prices were pretty low. Wasn't very, as you can see from the empty seats, there weren't a lot of people there. It was at an ice skating rink way out in the boonies. It was it was a rainy, cold day. And he goes, "Well, I was going to take all this stuff to the dump." He goes, "I guess I saved myself some dump fees. People are going to get some use out of it, and I'll make a couple of bucks on it." So he was kind of okay with it, I guess. Let me get the camera. Nice little bit of artwork. I like that it's on slab wood. Just local artists blow my mind. I'll give them some props. Yeah. I could probably walk you to a dozen different places that kind of look like that. My last cabin was almost identical to that. I think everybody remembers these, but this one's just in really great shape. There was a case for it. I saw it when I first looked at it, and then there was no case. So I was a little suspicious about what that's about. Anyway, you wind them up. No batteries. That's how they were back in the day. And you just did this. And you can hear it. Would be taking movies right now. That's your trigger. You hold it like that. Pretty cool. Love it. And these are always, always something people want to buy. Should we see if there's any film in it? Oh. Okay, that needs two hands. Okay, this thing I bought, I usually don't buy oil lamps, but these are kind of cool, but there was somebody there playing with this stuff, and they lost the nut for this side, which is going to be interesting for me to find one. Of course, I didn't know it until after I bought it. But these they kind of keep themselves. This was supposed to be, this is supposed to keep your house from burning down back in the day. Boy, I just can't get that latch, can I? These are supposed to keep your house from burning down back in the day because when they had fuel in them, they'd self-right. But this also meant that they could easily be tipped over and all the fuel run out of there and start your house on fire. So, yeah, that's fun. So these wall-hanging cast ships are from Midwest, and they're mid-century. I would say most of the damage that they got was probably from the auction. See, Midwest. And they're not worth a fortune, but the pair will bring $50. And I think I paid $3. So you got to do a deal like that. I actually have one in the back that's extra super rusty. And that's kind of how that's kind of how they seem to want them. So everything about these is really heavy duty, but it's got the wrong chain on here. And boy, you're really risking it because pots and pans weigh a ton. They typically position these so you can reach a ceiling joist rafter or something, some kind of beam, because these things weigh, I bet you this weighs probably 15 pounds maybe. But you put 15 pots or whatever hanging off of this. Stuff can hang off of here. These hooks are designed to, you know, hang around like that. And you can hang stuff off the center, hang ladles, hang all kinds of stuff. This is awesome if you've got a especially nice collection of copper cookware. And these are always missing, but let's see, they got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them managed to make the trip. So I guess that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Super popular, these things are. Really good if you got a nice gourmet kitchen. I'm guessing this person was a big Super Bowl fan. Was it 31? And I've never really had luck with Super Bowl specific things unless it's clothing. And then it just goes crazy. I don't know what the difference is. This is almost 30 years old, 29 years old. That's not a new sign. Clearly it's been off in the garage somewhere. But I got this really reasonably priced, and I was more stoked about this one. I mean, anything cars, I'm really getting the glare on it out the ceiling lights. Anything cars, gas and oil. Beautiful, and look at the condition. It's excellent. Excellent shape. So they had 3 of the mid-century swans there that were not broken. I mean, almost all of them, the beak was chipped off, or they had some other chunk out of it somewhere. So this is the first one that they came up with that I didn't see any damage to. The last 2, all of a sudden this woman walked in and I bid her up, I think, to $20 a piece. There's just really no money left at that point. But I managed to get this one, and you can see all the inclusions in it. So these are hand blown, and then they're stretched. And that's how they get that. And people use them for all kinds of things. They even use them as planters. They've been around for a long time, but undeniably cool. Pretty happy to get that one. I don't think I paid a lot for it. I think it was under $10. So yeah, I bought the lamp that's all beat up and broken. That's going to be a hard shade to replace. But it really doesn't look that bad from this side. It's an old Dietz. And it looks like, some of them, they're so rotted. The bottom's good. It's got a lot in the wind column. It's just really the glass shade that's having a bad day. And I'll bet you the auction broke that. It looks like a recent break. It happens. They just pile everything. They just throw it heavily into the back of the trailer. And it's just it's a casualty of kids that load vehicles, sadly. Some of the stuff made it. This made it. I mean, most of the swans made it. I don't know the swans. Maybe they weren't damaged before. I don't know. But I've got a pair of these with the brass base. That's more of a pop metal brace. But this has got lead in it. All the shades that they made of that particular company put out were lead crystal shades. And they're not old. This is probably 1980s. Well, I guess 40 years old is kind of old. But yeah, that's when they were in their heyday. So this green glass piece, it's typical 1980s. Nothing super extra special, but I did like the applied stem being twisted. I think that's kind of cool and unusual for sure. You can see where they applied it. So, yeah, I mean, it was in the box with one of the other lamps, so why not? And then this little beauty. Really stoked to get this. It's like a brass covered or a brass tinted pop metal top there. This is tin. This might actually be brass. This is not high end, but these can be cleaned up to make look really cool. And I know I have I know I have a glass tray for this somewhere. But these are extra super collectible, and people just can't see the possibility. It's not cracked. It's not broken. It's not separated. It's not been tipped over, and this is all bent, and it needs all kinds of straightening. It's straight as an arrow. It just needs a scuff and a shoot. Throw a new piece of glass in the top, $125. I paid $3 for it. So I don't know if you guys know what these are or not, but the old Edison machines, this is how you got your music back in the 1800s, early 1900s. It's on these cylinders, and you load the cylinder on, and can you see the grooves on it? Kind of like a record. Yeah, and there's an arm that rides against it, and you can listen to really scary haunted house music till your heart stops beating. They're collectible. Notice there's a lot of empties in here, so I don't know what's going on with that, but the bottom one had a better selection in there, and some of these, they really need to be cleaned up before they, hopefully they're not damaged. It almost looks like they got wet, but water doesn't really hurt them too bad either. Scary, right? So I guess I'll have to assess what I have here that's sellable and see if I can mix and match, because most of the information is typically on the end. So we have My Beautiful Alsace, Lorraine V. Delhart, and I would have to look that up to find out what vintage that was. See, that one's taken a hit. It's been dropped. See, it's got a dent on that, and it chipped out the inside. So that's a problem. See that one? That's a problem. So I got to look through them and see which ones are even sellable. I might not make any money on this batch, but when you buy really, really old stuff that really wasn't designed to live this long, that happens. So you probably saw this little tub that I was going through that had these really nice vintage Keeler poles. Keeler made a lot of stuff in brass. Not very legible. This one's better. Anyway. I'll put them in groups of 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. There's 30. Even 30. And really, people, when they redo their kitchens, or they're doing a dresser or bathroom vanities and that sort of thing, these things sell excellent. And I can probably break it up into a couple of sets here. I typically get $5 a piece. And there was more in the lot. I think I paid $7, but there was another tub that had some automotive air hose parts in it, and a guy offered me a couple bucks for the air hose parts, which I don't need, so I maybe have $5 in this whole pile. So it'll make a nice little return. They're easy to ship because they just don't break in shipping. It's not fragile. Like this is fragile, and it's unusual. This isn't that old because it still has a 7-digit number, but the glass thermometer is typically broke on these, and this one's not only there, it's functioning. And it's gas and oil, which is always an excellent subject matter to have. So there was that in the box. There was this Dear John, which is nice. Somebody painted their house and didn't bother to pull this off, so they just painted onto it. Super extra lazy. But again, the glass is intact. It's all there. And that needs a little chiropractic move, but I'll probably leave it and let the new owner deal with that. Because they don't like it when I fix things. They want to fix things on their own. But I really like this one because it's extra super crispy. I love them extra super crispy, just like my chicken. And this, I'm pretty sure, is an old Pepsi. If you can get the right angle on it, you can kind of... Okay. I'm a liar. It's really just a shadow of it. There, you can see where it says Pepsi. See that? But the lights are almost too bright, but right where that blue sticker is, it says, I'm pretty sure it says Pepsi under it. Anyway, I'm sure it's Pepsi. It's got the wood block that the thermometer glass rides in. It's intact, and it's even functioning because it's in the 60s in here. Like all these say. It says 65. This one says 66. And John Deere is, it says it's 58, so John Deere might need a little help. But these are adjustable. You just take the whole tube, you loosen up those little things there, those little tabs, and you just slide it to wherever you're confident the number is. And just line that bit of mercury up with your favorite graduation. Away you go. So really nice to get these, especially in one lot. Typically they go choice on those. They'll start you off with one. So I literally bought these for what I would pay for all three for what I would have paid for one. So it was a great deal. Camera stuff, always a hit. It's just always a popular thing. Trail Timer Plus. And this was just a viewer for slides from back in the day. Little Instamatic. It's kind of a no-name brand, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of a throwaway. So then there's these driftwood lamps. And I don't know that I love it. Somebody went to a lot of bother. Look at the base. And so they traced out a base. They cut it all out. They didn't sell these in stores. This is all homemade. And there was a pair of them. I thought this is kind of funny. Down in the bottom of this one, I found this. And wouldn't you know, it exactly fits that one. So I don't know if the auction knocked that off, but it's an easy enough repair to put a little white glue on there and clamp it up overnight. Yeah, these are on eBay for kind of a lot of money, actually. They start at maybe $50, go up to maybe $300. I just don't know that I want to fool with it. Why did I buy it? I bought it because, as you might have remembered it had this on top. This is actually something. It looks like a piece of junk, and it kind of is. And it needs a chiropractic move on it here and there. But it's an old, mid-century modern, probably 1950s, lampshade. And it might clean up. I might be able to straighten it out. It's kinked on the corner pretty good in a couple spots. Right there is another little kink on it. But some of these old box shades, they're so rare, they sell for a lot of money. I don't get it. I don't need to get it. This is just about a business, buy low and sell high. What can I tell you? You gotta love that. That's a really great old box. Again, it's automotive. You can kind of see the original weatherhead slips in there that said what item went in what bin. Yeah, it's beat up. That's why it's cool. It exists. I bet you don't have one. A lot of miscellaneous stuff in some of these boxes, but I brought it home anyway. These are little brass lion head pulls. Probably some small cabinet. A couple of nice old glass doorknobs. And I'm really not into this sort of thing, but I thought that was unusual that the top spun on it. It's heavy, surprisingly heavy. It's a letter opener from Vegas. And boy, if you got the brackets for these are crazy good. This is just an old towel bar. And they look like, the brackets just look like they're for a curtain rod. And you could probably find, period correct curtain rod wall mounts that would, suffice. Put these up for sale. They sell on the same day. every single time. It's not worth a lot of money. Probably get $25 for it, but it was in a box. What are you gonna do? Throw it away? This was in a really nice old vintage ceiling shade. Everything in those days was grapes. It's crazy. Oh, this is cool. You probably saw this in there. Look at that primitive tool. It's a masher. It's a food masher. It's mounted on a long handle. Mounted on a long handle. Sometimes the handles aren't this refined. Some of them are just nothing more than a carved stick. But heavy beast, I'll tell you that. You don't need to look for some place to hang it. They stand pretty well on their own. And there's 5 of these, which is nice. And these are just, hopefully they're for this, yeah. They're just for the shade, right? Little accent piece, again, they don't attach anywhere, but, you know, it's gravity. This thing is pointed toward the ground. And they pretty much just stay put no matter what. And even if the lamp is rocking, you know, for whatever reason, somebody hits it with their head, and they just stay put. So, I mean, it's an okay old lamp. It's not really fantastically stellar, but I think I bought it for $3. I mean, I could do it without the reflectors. I mean, literally, they just look, it looks just pretty normal with just a shade. I mean, once it's screwed in place, you really can't see that it's, but I think it took it out of just being an ordinary lamp into being a cool lamp with having all those other accents. What else did I get? Oh, yeah. Check this stuff out. Old boxing stuff. Old Toughware. This is a small speed bag. It's a little bit bigger speed bag. And 2 sets of gloves. These things are surprisingly collectible. If you go on eBay, you might be shocked what some of this older stuff is. I would guess, just by looking at it, it's probably 70s, maybe 80s. I got this, it's a clock. And inside, oh, it fell out. Here it is. It's like, don't tell me somebody took it. It's a pendulum. It's an oar. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. I'm going to give it the old Boy Scout go. Looks pretty close. Knock everything down here. I did it, sort of. Anyway, it would, the oar goes back and forth like a pendulum would. Kind of neat. That's real wood. And one of the rarest pieces I got today was this. And I bought a box of stuff and I just left the whole other box. I just kind of ran and grabbed this. Boy, you just don't see these anymore. This is a really, really old thin milk glass shade. They usually just got super hot and just fell apart because those old light bulbs were pretty, look how it just like discolored it from the heat. But this is for an old gooseneck lamp. I think I probably have one here somewhere. Don't trip over the hose from the dehumidifier. There's one. So that's typically what you see, right? And this would just go on in place of it. And I have a bunch of these old goosenecks around here, so I had to pick out one this would look the coolest on and do that. This is my favorite piece out of the whole thing. So this is old. Clearly you can see this will accommodate dresses from the Victorian era, which could be anywhere from mid-1800s to early 1900s. It's incomplete to my best guess. I'm thinking it should have a foot on the bottom there. Right now she's resting on the dress cage itself. So I have one that a friend was going to take. She was going to fix it up, but she hasn't shown up for it. So I might see if I can't adapt the foot to that one because they're about, that one's a little newer, but not much newer. These are a Rubik's Cube to get set up. I mean, all this stuff is movable in a number of different directions. And, clearly you can see a piece of the casting here is gone, which would normally the screw, see how it would go through the hole there. So it needs some, that one's cracked too. It needs some chiropractic moves to be made to look good. But these are infinitely adjustable because they were used in dressmaking and tailoring. They'd take a waist measurement, bust, hip, and then they would adjust this to the person that they were making the dress for. So if they made the dress fit this, it fit the person, as long as they didn't, go to the Sonny's all-you-can-eat buffet. All these cage parts are adjustable. There's wing nuts inside, and they slide up and down for different heights. This is a threaded shaft. You can actually squat this whole thing down because these are all bendable, moldable pieces. And then when they're making dresses, they can put their pins right through there if they had to, and it's just how it was done. So this is a really, really old piece, and straightened up, it could really be cool. And I have some, this is Victorian era dress. It's pretty tattered because you can't touch it without breaking it. You just touch it with your finger and it goes right through it. It's so old. I have a number of them in here because I do sell a lot of vintage clothes and those old-time dress forms, which is exactly, these are a little more, these are, 1930s-ish dress forms. And some I just have solid brass 1920s era dress holders, I guess. They're not a form. So, yeah, this one will be right at home, and I don't know, maybe I have some vintage clothing to put on it, but quite honestly, I just love it without clothing on it. I think it just looks amazing. Really speaks to the era. So, I don't know. This one's not broken. This one's not broken. I might switch these around so the two not broken ones are in the front, and re-drill these and reposition the screw in the back because you're not going to see the back much anyway. It's the kind of stuff you have to do. You're never going to find a part for this. I've been doing this for ages, and you're just not going to find a part for this old girl. So we'll get her straightened up. It's going to be some kind of a project. But it's just not even really rusty at all. It's amazing, actually. She's awesome. Pretty stoked to have it.